print and video. Put the two together and you have video art. To find out more about this unique approach to video, I talked to Jack Reilly, an art professor at California State University, Northridge. What spawned your interest in art?
Surfing is what put me in a position of detachment, of mental and emotional detachment that's very similar to being an artist when you're working on your work. You have to detach from the regular things in life, all the stuff that you're told you're supposed to do all the time. So by bobbing up and down, having these wonderful experiences for years, I finally just became detached. And at that point, I started building surfboards after high school, and I found I was a craftsperson. I didn't really know, I didn't know I could do anything. I never really picked up a hammer in my life. But all of a sudden I started sculpting out these surfboards, and then people would come to me and say, Jack, can you paint a picture on this? Can you put a bird on it or a fish? And I go, yeah, sure. So I would just draw a bird or a fish, and all of a sudden I found myself doing all this stuff, getting paid for it, and eventually I found myself becoming an artist as a result of that.
How did you get involved in video art?
Growing up in Florida, which was where I grew up most of my life, and part of New York City, it's a lot different from growing up in L.A. Everybody in L.A. wants to make a movie. Everybody thinks it's like something you do. If you're good looking, you're an actor. If if you're interested in film, you become a director. It's a common thing. But so for me, it wasn't something you thought about or I thought about.
What makes video art different from other types of art?
First of all, because traditional art is generally made for the wall or for a freestanding sculpture. When I became interested in video art, I started, as most artists do, you start to emulate some of the more well-known video artists. It was interesting. I was making works that I thought I was trying to make things that were right, that seemed right and felt right. I have to admit there was some restraint taking place in my work because I wanted to do the right thing. I'd already been a successful painter, and I wanted to be a successful video artist as well. And most of these pieces were duds. They were flops as I was trying so hard. And then I finally just said the hell with that. I said, this stuff's boring anyway. Most of it that I see is boring, and most people that I go to shows with, they all want to leave in 25 minutes into a group video show. So something has to change, and I want to approach it with a different attitude. And so I started making works that involve a lot more visual activity, a lot of action. I basically assume my audience has a low attention span and try to deal with that. A recent piece I did is comprised primarily of words. It's almost all words and a few flashing images. I started writing my thoughts and animating the words. I copied the style that they make television commercials with and the psychology that they use in television commercials, except I changed the message. I put a personal, philosophical, questioning message in there.
Where do you get your ideas?
I don't know, driving in the car or in the shower at the beach. I walk around, I hang out. The ideas, you never know when they're going to happen. You've got generally a notion, but when it comes to a vision, that's when you have the real idea. Art history's always been one of my loves. So I decided to make a piece and take masterpieces, famous ones that most people recognize, not just artists, and bring them to life. So I did a piece called Masterpiece Action Theater. And playing on the words, on the name, the title Masterpiece Theater that everybody knows about, I turned it into a short action series.
Some people think I'm crazy, but they don't understand how I suffer for my art. Oh no, my ear!
How do you think Venice affects your work? Do you think being down in Venice feeds your imagination?
Yeah, it's a great place. It's creative. It reminds me of younger years because it's almost like a time warp. It's still kind of similar to the '60s. There's still hippies around. I don't know where else you can find hippies.
When people ask you what it is you do or what do you want to be known for, what are you? What do you tell them?
Well, depends on who's asking. I tell them I'm a painter, video maker. I guess I make music for my own videos. I guess you could call me a Renaissance man. Although basically I think I'm just a guy who tries to do what he likes and wants to do.